Caitlin Clark is officially on the FIBA World Cup qualifying team.
Caitlin Clark was one of college basketball's most electric athletes this past season in the 2021 FIBA World Cup in Hungary.
But here's what nobody's talking about. The roster drops, marches around the corner, and suddenly everyone's asking the same question. Who's really running the show? Paige Bueckers is in, Angel Reese is in, but behind closed doors, the starting lineup conversations are getting heated. Sue Bird's calling the shots as managing director, and if you know basketball politics, you know exactly what that means. Connecticut connections, old loyalties, new stars fighting for their spot. The court hasn't even seen action yet, and the tension is already thick. Will Clark get the respect she's earned, or will agendas push her to the bench? 1 month away from tip-off, and this team is already divided before they've played a single game together. Stay with us. What happens next will shock you. The roster that broke the internet. When USA Basketball dropped the roster for FIBA World Cup qualifying, social media went crazy.
Our goal was to qualify, and we did that.
Caitlin Clark's name was right there at the top, not buried somewhere in the middle, not mentioned as an afterthought. She's in, officially. The announcement came on a Tuesday afternoon. Within minutes, Twitter exploded. Instagram feeds are filled with reactions. Basketball fans who hadn't checked their phones in hours suddenly had dozens of notifications. Everyone wanted to talk about the same thing. Clark made the team, and the way they listed the players mattered. Alphabetically? No. By experience? Not quite. But Clark's name appeared early enough that you knew this wasn't some token inclusion. She's part of the core group they're building around. And this is her first time representing the senior national team in a real competition. Sure, she's worn the red, white, and blue before in junior tournaments. But this is different. This is the big stage. World Cup qualifying means something. These games count. Win here, and you're playing for gold in Berlin come September. Lose, and you're watching from home while other countries celebrate. The pressure is real from day one. The full roster is stacked with talent. You've got veterans like Kelsey Plum and Chelsea Gray, both Olympic gold medalists. These aren't players hoping to make a name for themselves. They've already done that. Jackie Young, Derica Hamby, Rayvon Howard. These women know what it takes to win at the highest level. They've been in hostile arenas overseas. They've played in championships where one possession decides everything. They understand the mental side of international competition in ways that younger players are still learning. Then you've got the young blood. Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, Kiki Iriafen, Sonia Citron, Aaliyah Boston. Every single one of these players was a star in college. Every one of them has highlight reels that go viral.
Oh, great fake from Boston, who lays it in.
But college success doesn't automatically translate to international success. The game is faster, more physical. Refs let players get away with contact that would be a foul in the NCAA. Three-point lines are at different distances. Court dimensions aren't quite the same. It's an adjustment period that some players handle better than others. What stands out is who's not on this roster. No A'ja Wilson. No Breanna Stewart. No Sabrina Ionescu. No Alyssa Thomas. The big names are sitting this one out. And honestly, that might be the best thing that could happen. Give the next generation a chance to prove themselves without the shadows of superstars hanging over them. When Stewart and Wilson are on the roster, everyone knows who the go-to players are. The offense runs through them. Other players become role players, whether they like it or not. But with those stars taking a break for World Cup qualifying, suddenly there's opportunity. Minutes are available. Starting spots are up for grabs. Young players can show what they're capable of when the ball is actually in their hands. But here's where it gets interesting. 12 players made the roster, only 5 can start. And right now there's a battle brewing behind the scenes that nobody's talking about publicly. Who gets to run the point? Who controls the offense? Who gets the ball in their hands when the game is on the line? The veterans expect respect for what they have accomplished. The young stars expect playing time based on current ability. Those two expectations don't always align. And when they clash, coaches have to make difficult decisions that leave someone unhappy. Clark just came off a season where she averaged 19.2 points and 9.0 assists per game for the Indiana Fever. She's the NCAA all-time leading scorer.
Make it 8 assists for Caitlin Clark.
All-star team coming out, the pocket pass.
She changed the entire landscape of women's basketball just by existing. Her jersey sales broke records. Her games brought in viewership numbers that made executives do double takes. She's the reason casual fans started paying attention to the WNBA. Arenas that used to have empty seats suddenly sold out when Indiana came to town. Not because the Fever were championship contenders, because people wanted to see Clark play. TV ratings jumped whenever she was on the broadcast schedule. Sponsors started throwing money at the league because they saw the potential. One player shifted the entire trajectory of professional women's basketball.
As we all know, Caitlin Clark has changed the face of the WNBA, whether it's ticket sales, how to play the game.
So why is there even a question about whether she should start? Because basketball isn't just about talent. It's about relationships, politics, who you know. And that's where things get complicated. Connecticut's long shadow Sue Bird is running the show. She's the managing director for the USA Basketball Women's National Team. That means she picks the roster. She decides who gets invited to training camps. She evaluates who's ready for prime time and who needs more development. Now, Sue Bird is a legend, 4-time WNBA champion, 5 Olympic gold medals, one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. Nobody's questioning her basketball knowledge.
Sue Bird, the all-time assist leader in the WNBA.
But here's the thing, Sue Bird played her entire WNBA career with the Seattle Storm. And before that, she played college ball at UConn, the University of Connecticut. And if you know anything about UConn women's basketball, you know they take care of their own. Paige Bueckers plays for UConn. She's the golden child of Gino Auriemma's program. When she was healthy, she was unstoppable. National Player of the Year as a freshman. The hype around her was massive. Then injuries hit. She missed significant time, came back, played well, but she's never reached the same heights she did in that first season. Here's where it gets messy. Gino Auriemma made some comments recently that raised eyebrows. He suggested that Paige has an inside track to being the starting point guard for Team USA. Not because she's necessarily better than everyone else, but because of the connections, the history, the UConn pipeline that's been feeding USA basketball for decades. Think about it. Diana Taurasi, UConn, Sue Bird, UConn, Maya Moore, UConn, Brianna Stewart, UConn. The list goes on and on. UConn players have dominated USA basketball for years, and there's nothing wrong with that when they're the best players available. But when favoritism starts creeping in, when connections matter more than performance, that's when people start asking questions. Caitlin Clark went to Iowa. No history with Sue Bird. No UConn connection. No built-in advantage. She's coming in as an outsider trying to prove herself in a system that's been dominated by one program for decades. And that's a tough spot to be in, no matter how talented you are. The coaching staff adds another layer to this. Carol Lawson from Duke is the head coach, Natalie Nakasi from the Golden State Valkyries, Nate Tibbetts from the Phoenix Mercury, and Stephanie White from the Indiana Fever. Wait, Stephanie White, that's Caitlin Clark's coach, the woman who's been working with her all season.
Favorite WNBA coaches and commentator for our sister network, ESPN, Coach Stephanie White of the Connecticut Sun. Coach,
the person who knows her game better than almost anyone. So you've got Sue Bird with her UConn ties in one corner, and Stephanie White with her connection to Clark in the other. How does that play out when it's time to decide starting lineups? Who wins that battle? Does basketball talent decide it, or do relationships tip the scales? Surrey point guard, battle nobody saw coming? The point guard position is everything in basketball. You control the tempo. You decide who gets the ball. You're the extension of the coach on the floor. And right now, there are 3 legitimate candidates for that spot on Team USA. Caitlin Clark just finished a WNBA season where she proved she belongs at the highest level. 19 points per game, 9 assists. She made plays that left defenders looking silly. Her vision is elite. Her range is unlimited. She can hit shots from the logo. She can thread passes through traffic that nobody else even sees. When she's on the court, defenses have to respect her from the moment she crosses half court. Then there's Paige Bueckers. She's coming off injuries, but when healthy, she's special. Smooth handle, great feel for the game, unselfish. She's not a volume scorer like Clark, but she knows how to run an offense. UConn's system prepares you for team basketball. Gino doesn't tolerate selfishness, so Paige knows how to make the right play even if it's not the flashy one. Chelsea Gray is the veteran in the mix. Olympic gold medalist, WNBA champion, finals MVP. She's been there and done everything at the professional level. If you want someone who won't panic in big moments, Gray's your choice. She's steady, reliable, not flashy, but incredibly effective. The smart basketball decision is obvious. Clark should start. She's the best point guard on this roster right now. She's proven it at every level. But the smart basketball decision isn't always the one that gets made. Politics crept in. Relationships matter. And that's what makes this situation so frustrating for fans who just want to see the best players on the court. There's already talk about Clark coming off the bench, managing her minutes, bringing her back slowly from the season, not rushing her into the starting role. All the usual excuses that get thrown around when someone doesn't want to make the obvious choice. But here's the reality. Caitlin Clark just played a full WNBA season.
Clark, wow! You bet! From beyond the logo!
She's not coming back from a long layoff. She's not injured. She's ready to go. She said it herself weeks ago. 100% healthy, ready to compete. So what's the real reason for hesitation? The answer might have more to do with protecting egos and maintaining relationships than actually putting the best team on the floor. And that's a problem. Because when USA basketball steps onto the court against international competition, they need their best 5 players out there, not the 5 who fit best into some political structure. What's really at stake here? This isn't just about one tournament. World Cup qualifying is important, sure. But what happens in Puerto Rico in March will set the tone for everything that follows. The real prize is the World Cup itself in Berlin this September. That's where gold medals get won. That's where legacies get built. Sue Bird is evaluating players for that World Cup team right now. How they perform in qualifying will directly impact who makes the final roster, who gets significant minutes, who gets left at home. So these games in March aren't just warm-ups. They're auditions for the biggest stage in international basketball. When USA basketball has won the last 4 World Cups, 12 gold medals overall in the history of the tournament, the standard is excellence. Anything less than gold is considered a failure. The pressure is real. The expectations are sky high. But here's what makes this different from past tournaments. The attention on women's basketball has exploded. Caitlin Clark is a huge part of that. Her college games brought in millions of viewers. Her WNBA debut broke attendance records across the league. Cities that never cared about women's basketball suddenly sold out arenas when she came to town. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Businesses are paying attention. Sponsors are throwing money at the WNBA. Young girls are buying her jersey. She's transcended the sport in a way that very few athletes ever do. And USA basketball knows this. They know that having Clark on the team brings eyeballs, brings attention, brings legitimacy to the tournament. So there's a tension here. On one hand, you want to win gold. That means playing your best players. On the other hand, you have institutional relationships and historical connections that pull in different directions. How do you balance those competing interests? Angel Reese adds another dynamic to this mix. She and Clark have this ongoing rivalry that dates back to college. LSU versus Iowa, national championship game, the trash talk.
Angel Reese facilitating again. Flau'jae Johnson lays it in, plus the foul.
The finger pointing, the media circus. Some of it was overblown, but some of it was genuine competitive fire between 2 elite players. Now they're teammates. Both made the roster. Both will be in San Juan in March. How does that work? Can they put aside whatever personal feelings exist and play together? The All-Star game a couple of years back showed they can. Clark threw Reese a beautiful pass that went viral. They smiled. They seemed fine. But that was one game, one moment. This is different. This is sustained competition where egos, playing time, and recognition all come into play. The tournament itself runs from March 11th to the 17th. 6 teams are competing in a round-robin format. USA has already qualified for the World Cup by winning the FIBA Women's AmeriCup last year. So technically, these games don't determine whether they get to Berlin. They've already punched their ticket, but momentum matters. Chemistry matters. Building continuity matters. You can't just throw 12 players together in September and expect them to dominate. You need time on the court together. You need to figure out rotations. Who plays well together? Who clashes? What lineups work against different styles of defense? That's what makes March so important. It's the foundation for everything that comes after. The decision nobody wants to make. Training camp starts March 7th in Miami. That's when things get real. That's when coaches have to make decisions. That's when starting lineups get announced. And that's when we'll see whether talent wins out over politics. The easy path for USA basketball is to start Paige Bueckers at point guard. Keep the UConn connection happy. Maintain the relationships that have served them well for decades. Bring Clark off the bench in a sixth player role. Frame it as strategic. Say she's more valuable leading the second unit. All the usual talking points that don't actually hold up under scrutiny. The hard path is to make the choice based purely on who gives you the best chance to win. And that's Caitlin Clark. No question, no debate. She's the most talented point guard on this roster. She's proven it at every level of competition. She makes everyone around her better. She can take over games when needed. She's the kind of player you build your offense around, not hide on the bench. But here's what makes this situation so difficult. There are legitimate concerns about how Clark fits into USA basketball system. The national team plays a different style than what she's used to. More motion, more ball movement, less isolation. They want 5 players who can all handle, pass, and shoot. Not one dominant ball handler controlling everything. Can Clark adapt to that? Absolutely. She's proven she can play within a system at Iowa and with the Fever. She's not some selfish player who only cares about her own stats. When she needs to facilitate, she facilitates.
Caitlin Clark to be on the Big Three because she's going to really help in so many different ways and bringing the WNBA into a new level.
When she needs to score, she scores. She reads the game at an elite level. The question is whether the people making decisions believe that, or whether they're so locked into their preconceived notions about how things should work that they can't see what's right in front of them. Stephanie White being on the coaching staff should help. She knows what Clark can do. She spent an entire season working with her. She understands how to use her effectively. If White influences these decisions, Clark has a real shot at getting the minutes she deserves. But Sue Bird is the managing director. She has final say on roster construction and evaluation. And if she's determined to maintain the UConn pipeline, to keep Gino Auriemma happy, to preserve relationships that go back decades, well, Clark might be fighting an uphill battle no matter how well she plays. The internet will be watching. Every starting lineup announcement will be analyzed. Every substitution pattern will be questioned. Social media will explode if Clark is sitting on the bench while Paige is running the offense. Fair or not, that's the reality of the situation. Broadcasting details haven't been finalized yet, but expect these games to be on USA Network or NBC. The viewership will be significant. People want to see Caitlin Clark play. They want to see if the hype is real on the international stage.
Iowa's Caitlin Clark has become a national phenom, and some fans say they went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
And they definitely want to see how this whole political mess plays out. March 11th feels like it's right around the corner. 1 month away. Training camp in a few weeks. The clock is ticking. Decisions need to be made. And whatever happens in Puerto Rico will echo through the rest of 2026. So here we are. Caitlin Clark is on the roster for World Cup qualifying. The stage is set. The drama is building. And in just a few weeks, we're going to find out whether USA basketball makes decisions based on talent or politics. Will Clark start at point guard as she should? Will Paige Bueckers get favoritism because of UConn connections? How will Angel Reese and the rest of this talented roster fit together? Can they build chemistry in time for the World Cup in September? And these are the questions that will define the next few months of women's basketball. And trust me, people will be paying attention. Every game, every minute, every decision, because this isn't just about qualifying for a tournament. This is about the future of the sport, about whether the old guard makes room for the new stars, about whether basketball talent matters more than relationships. What do you think happens? Drop your predictions in the comments. Hit subscribe if you want more coverage of this situation as it develops. because this story is just getting started and it's going to be wild.